Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're diving deep into the world of coin collecting, and specifically we're going to explore the top 5 most valuable and rare Lincoln 1-cent pennies that could be sitting right under your nose, worth big money if you're a coin enthusiast, or just someone looking for that hidden gem in your pocket change. This is the video for you, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's get started today's video. Diving into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in American numismatics, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. You might be thinking, a penny from 1980, how valuable could that really be? Well, as we'll uncover in this video, this particular coin holds a fascinating history and has earned its place among the rarest pennies that can be worth an astonishing amount of money today. Before we get into the value, let's take a quick look at the history behind the 1980 Lincoln penny and why it stands out from the millions of other pennies minted that year. First, let's remember that the United States Mint produces billions of pennies every year. In 1980, the Mint produced pennies at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. As was customary, normally the Denver Mint coins would carry a D mint mark to distinguish them from the Philadelphia ones, which don't have a mint mark. However, in 1980, a very small number of pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. Now this is where things get interesting. The 1980 non-mint mark penny is a mistake, a striking error. The Mint was supposed to add a mint mark to coins produced in Philadelphia, but some of these pennies were released into circulation without it. This error makes these coins rare, and rarity, as any collector knows, can mean big money. But the mystery doesn't end there. The true rarity of the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny lies in how few were actually struck without the mint mark. While the exact number of these era coins is still debated, it's estimated that only a handful of them exist today in good condition, making them highly sought after by collectors. Over the years, coin collectors, numismatists, and investors have been searching high and low for these elusive pennies, and when one of them turns up, the excitement is palpable. Now let's talk about how much these pennies are worth. When a coin becomes this rare, its value can skyrocket. In fact, the current market value of a 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark is a jaw-dropping $82,394. Yes, you heard that right, over $80,000 for a single penny. But how can this be? How does a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent end up with such an astronomical value? Well, this is the magic of rare coin collecting. The combination of rarity, demand, and the coin's historical significance drives its value up over time. The 1980 non-mint mark penny has become a prized possession for collectors because it represents both a fascinating piece of American history and an era that makes it stand out in the world of coins. And as time goes on, the value of these era coins is likely to continue to rise as more and more collectors scramble to add them to their collections. But it's not just about the coin's rarity. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value as well. Coins are graded on a scale known as the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin that is graded at 70 is considered to be in perfect mint condition. The 1980 no mint mark pennies that have been preserved in high grades are the ones that fetch the highest prices. Some of the most valuable examples of this coin have been graded as high as MS67 or even MS68, which indicates they are nearly flawless and have been well taken care of for collectors and investors. Findinga 1980 no mint mark penny in excellent condition can be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Some of the pennies that have been sold in auctions over the years have reached impressive sums, with the highest prices reflecting both the rarity and the condition of the coin. So how can you identify a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? The easiest way to check is, of course, to look for the absence of a mint mark. If the coin is from Philadelphia, it should not have any letter indicating its origin. A penny, is it in good shape, or is it worn down from years of circulation? The better the condition, the higher its potential value. Now you might be wondering how you can find one of these valuable pennies. While the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't something you're likely to find in your pocket change, there are several ways you can go about searching for one. First, you can check through rolls of pennies. Sometimes coin roll hunters come across rare era coins while searching through bank rolls of pennies. You can also attend coin shows or visit dealers who specialize in rare coins. Finally, online marketplaces and auction sites are also great places to search for rare coins, but be cautious, there are a lot of counterfeit coins and misrepresented pennies out there, especially when it comes to high-value coins like the 1980 no-mint mark penny. If you come across one for sale, it's always a good idea to have the coin professionally graded and authenticated to ensure it's the real deal. The rise in value of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a testament to the enduring appeal of coin collecting. It also highlights how a simple mistake by the U.S. Mint can lead to something truly remarkable. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a new enthusiast, this penny is a prime example of how rare era coins can become some of the most sought after and valuable pieces in numismatics. As we wrap up today's video, remember that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. You never know when you might come across a rare gem, whether it's a 1980 no-mint mark penny or another fascinating piece of history. Always be on the lookout for those unique coins, and who knows, you might just have a treasure on your hands. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting content. Until next time, keep on hunting those rare finds. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the world of small copper treasures, focusing on one of the most unexpected coins that could be sitting right in your pocket or hiding in an old jar at home, the 1981 Lincoln cent. Yes, that's right, a single 1-cent coin from 1981 with the Denver Mint mark that has shocked collectors with jaw-dropping auction prices, and one of them reached a staggering $56. $2.88. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss a single detail. Let's begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Breener, the obverse features the classic portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse at that time displayed 2 wheat ears. However, in 1959 the design changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, commemorating Lincoln's 150th birthday. That reverse stayed in use all the way until 2008, and that includes the year we're talking about today, 1981. Now, in 1981, the United States Mint was still producing the penny primarily in copper. These coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and they weighed about 3.1 g. But here's where things get interesting. 1981 was the last full year before the U.S. Mint transitioned to a predominantly zinc composition. In 1982, that makes the 1981 copper pennies the last of an era. In that year, the Denver Mint struck over 5 billion Lincoln cents. Yes, billion with a B. With that massive mintage number, you might think these coins are extremely common and not worth more than face value, and in most cases you'd be absolutely right. Most 1981 Lincolns are only worth 1 cent if they're worn and circulated. Even in uncirculated condition, many are only worth a few cents or perhaps $1 at most. But what sets apart a select few coins is their condition, rarity, and errors, and this is where the story gets thrilling. But let's talk about what makes one of these seemingly ordinary pennies worth $56. $2.88. The key lies in mint state quality and high-grade preservation. Professional coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a 70-point scale. A coin graded MS60 is uncirculated, but one graded MS68 or higher is extremely rare and pristine. A 1981 penny graded MS68 red, yes, with that rich original red copper luster, is nearly flawless and exceptionally scarce. In fact, back in 2021, one of these exact 1981 Lincoln cents graded MS68 red by PCGS sold at auction for an astonishing $56. $2.88. That's a massive price for a coin that many people have tossed into their coin jars or ignored for decades. This coin achieves such a high value because of its perfect surfaces, brilliant red color, and immaculate strike, all of which make it a showpiece in any top-tier coin collection. Now you might be asking, what should I look for in my own pocket change or coin collection? First, check the date. Make sure it says 1981 and has a small D mint mark just below the year, which stands for the Denver Mint. Then examine the coin closely. Is the coin uncirculated? Does it still have a bright red color with full original luster? Are there any scratches, nicks, or where if the coin looks nearly perfect it might be worth getting professionally graded? Even coins in MS66 or MS67 red can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the market. Another thing collectors and dealers Look for his strike quality and die variety. While there are no widely recognized major errors for the 1981 D Lincoln cent, small variations in the die or doubled dies could make your coin even more valuable. Look closely at the lettering date and Lincoln's features if you spot any doubling or unusual cha. In this video we will delve into its rich history, its role in circulation, and its current market value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, this guide aims to provide you with a thorough understanding of this iconic coin. The 1983 1-cent coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This design features a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The 1983 penny holds particular significance due to notable changes in its composition and the emergence of rare varieties and errors. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from producing pennies with a 95% copper composition to coins made of 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper plating. This change was primarily driven by rising copper prices. However, some copper planets from the previous year remained in circulation and were inadvertently used to strike 1983 pennies, leading to the creation of rare transition pennies. These coins weigh approximately 3.1 g compared to the standard 2.5 g of the ink pennies. These coins were distributed nationwide and circulated widely, making the 1983 penny one of the most common coins in American history. Throughout the 1980s and beyond, the 1983 penny was widely used in everyday transactions. Its low face value made it a staple in cash payments, and it remained in active circulation for decades. Over time, however, the penny's utility has been debated, with discussions about its cost of production and relevance in modern transactions. While most 1983 pennies are common, several rare varieties and errors have been identified by collectors. This error occurs when the reverse die is misaligned during the minting process, resulting in a doubled image. The doubling is most noticeable on the lettering E pluribus unum, and United States of America coins exhibiting this error can be valuable with well-graded specimens fetching higher prices. Similar to the reverse error, the obverse doubled die error involves doubling on the front of the coin, particularly on the word liberty. This error is less common but still sought after by collectors. As mentioned earlier, some 1983 pennies were struck on leftover copper planchets from 1982. These transition pennies weigh about 3.1 g and are extremely rare due to their scarcity. They can command significant premiums in the market. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, leading to part of the design being missing. Broad struck errors happen when the coin is struck without a colored die, causing the coin to spread out and appear larger than usual. Both errors are relatively rare and can increase a coin's value. The value of a 1983 penny varies based on its condition, rarity, and any errors it may possess. Here's a general breakdown. Circulated coins. Standard 1983 pennies in circulated condition are typically worth their face value of 1 cent. Uncirculated coins. Pennies in uncirculated condition can range from 10 cents to 50 cents depending on their grade. Error coins. Coins with noticeable errors such as the doubled die, reverse, or transition copper pennies can be worth anywhere from $10 to several thousand depending on the severity and desirability of the error-proof coins. The San Francisco Mint produced approximately 3.3 million proof 1983 pennies. These coins are specially struck for collectors and can range in value from $1 to over $1,800 depending on their grade. The 1983 US 1 coin is more than just a piece of currency. It's a testament to the evolving nature of coinage and a reflection of historical changes in material costs and minting processes. While most 1983 pennies are common and hold little value beyond their face value, certain rare varieties and errors make them highly collectible. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, the 1983 penny offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of numismatics. In 1983, amidst the bustling streets and evolving economy of the United States, a humble coin was minted, a coin that would go on to captivate collectors and numismatists alike. Today we delve into the history, significance, and value of the 1983 US 1 cent coin. To understand the 1983 penny, we must first journey back to the early 1980s. The US Mint was undergoing significant changes, particularly concerning the composition of its coins. Traditionally, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, due to soaring copper prices, the mint decided to transition to a composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, a change that would be fully implemented by 1983. While most 1983 pennies were struck using the new zinc composition, a few were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planets from the previous year. These transitional era coins are among the rarest and most sought after in modern numismatics. The design of the 1983 penny remained consistent with its predecessors. The obverse features Victor D. Breener's portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse showcases Frank E. Sparrow's depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. Notably, the 1983 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mintum Mark, Denver Mint Marked, and San Francisco Mint Mark. S4 proof coins. In 1983, the U.S. Mint produced over 7.7 billion pennies, making it one of the most circulated coins of the year. Despite its high production, the penny's purchasing power was diminishing due to inflation, leading to debates about its continued production. Fast forward to recent years and the discussion has resurfaced. In 2025, President Donald Trump issued an executive order to end the production of the penny, citing its high manufacturing costs and limited utility in modern transactions. Among the 1983 pennies, certain varieties and errors have garnered significant attention in the numismatic community. One such variety is the 1983 double die reverse penny, where the reverse design exhibits noticeable doubling. Coins in high grades have sold for over $2,600 at auctions. Another notable error is the transitional era penny struck in a copper planchet instead of the intended zinc planchet. These coins are heavier, weighing approximately 3.1 g compared to the standard 2.5 g. Depending on their condition, they can fetch prices ranging from $15,000 to over $12,000. As of 2025, the market value of a standard 1983 penny in circulated condition remains close to its face value. However, uncirculated coins, especially those with unique errors or varieties, can command premium prices. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, particularly those graded PR70, have been known to sell for up to $1,800 at auctions. The 1983 US 1-cent coin, while seemingly modest, holds a rich history and continues to captivate collectors worldwide. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast, understanding the nuances of this coin adds depth to its appreciation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history and value of the 1983 US 1-cent coin. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences with collecting pennies, please leave a comment below. Happy collecting your go to spot for all things numismatic. Today we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket right now, the 1984 Lincoln cent. It may seem like just another penny, but trust me, there's more to this little copper-plated zinc disc that meets the eye. From its rich history to its current market value, and even some rare varieties that could make it worth hundreds, let's explore the 1984 Lincoln cent. First, let's set the stage. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909, has undergone numerous design changes over the years. By 1984, the coin had settled into its familiar Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced over 5.5 billion Lincoln cents at the Denver Mint alone, making the 1984 one of the most minted coins in U.S. history. Despite its high mintage, the 1984 Dinkins holds a special place in the hearts of collectors due to its design and the era it represents. Let's talk about the design and specifications of the 1984 Lincoln cent. The obverse features the bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Breener. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank E. Sparrow, minted at the Denver Mint. The mint mark is located just below the date. On the obverse side, the coin is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, with a diameter of 19 mm and a weight of 2.5 g. In circulated condition, the 1984 Lincoln cent is worth its face value of 1 cent. However, its value can increase depending on its condition and any unique features it might have. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. All preserved 1984 penny can fetch a premium among collectors. Here's where things get interesting. While most 1984 pennies are common, certain rare varieties and minting errors can make them highly valuable. One notable error is the double diverse variety, where the Liberty and In God We Trust Inscriptions appear doubled due to a die misalignment during minting. Another rare find is the rotated die error, where the reverse design is rotated relative to the obverse, making it a unique collector's item. These error coins can command prices ranging from $100 to over $1,000 depending on their rarity and condition. Let's talk numbers. While most 1984 Lincoln cents are worth their face value, certain high-grade examples have sold for impressive amounts. Say, an M68RD Red 1984 penny once sold for $4025 at a heritage auction sale, highlighting the potential value of well-preserved coins. However, these high-grade coins are rare. Most collectors will find that their 1984 pennies are worth between 10 to 50 cents depending on their condition. Wondering if your 1984 penny is worth more than a cent? There's how you can identify valuable coins. Start by examining the coin under goodly. What amount of money would you say at least comfortable? For some, the number might be in the millions, but Kevin O'Leary, entrepreneur and investor known for his blunt style on Shark Tank, suggests that the amount needed is much less than what most people think. This is especially surprising coming from someone like O'Leary, whose net worth is estimated to be around $400 million. He's built his wealth through a combination of business, ventures, smart investing, and a well-developed personal brand. Yet even with that level of success, O'Leary often emphasizes a surprisingly modest approach to money and financial independence. You don't need tens of millions of dollars to stop working, to travel, or to live comfortably. What you don't need is clarity about your own lifestyle preferences, your priorities, and what truly makes you feel secure and fulfilled. Once you understand what kind of life you actually want to live, you can start figuring out how much it costs to sustain it. For some people, that vision includes luxury cars, designer clothes, and sprawling real estate, a life of opulence, and enjoying the finest things money can buy. For others, it's about peace of mind, like not having to worry about making sure the bills are paid. Modest comforts like Asmal will left home and control over their time, so they aren't tied down by a 9 to 5 and are free to travel, spend time with family, and not have to worry about maintaining an image and keeping up with a bunch of stuff. These two visions come with very different price tags, and that's exactly why Kevin O'Leary believes the amount of money it takes to feel financially free is often much less than most people assume. It's not about a specific number, it's about aligning your spending with what actually matters. Toyo O'Leary says you can quit working and live comfortably with $500,000 in the bank as long as you manage it smartly. That might sound like a stretch at first. How can anyone live off such a small amount when the return seems so tiny? But once you actually look at the numbers, it starts to make a lot more sense. According to O'Leary, if you take that $500,000 and put it into fixed income investments, bonds, high yield savings products, and other low risk investments, it's reasonable to expect a return of about 5% per year. That works out to $25,000 in annual income generated passively. You don't need to spend the principal, you're simply living off the interest. He goes on to say that for those willing to accept more market risk and invest part of that $500,000 into equities like stocks or ETFs, the potential return increases. O'Leary points out that it's possible to earn closer to 8.5 or 9% annually with a balanced portfolio that includes both stocks and bonds. That would produce between $42,500 and $45,000 per year. Again, that's without spending the initial investment. That might not sound like a lot, especially to someone living in a high-cost city or supporting a large family. In those situations, $25,000 to $45,000 per year might barely cover the basics, if that. But for a single person or a couple with a modest lifestyle in a reasonably affordable location, it can be enough to cover essential expenses, especially if you own your home outright and have a low-cost living arrangement. It's not a lavish income by any stretch, but it can provide a sense of security and consistency. You're not eating out at Steakhouse every night or flying first class, but you're also not living paycheck to paycheck or relying on a job you hate just to get by. Most importantly, that kind of income means you're no longer trading your time for money. You get your days back, and for most people that's the real definition of freedom. This is where the concept becomes powerful. With careful investing, someone could achieve full financial independence with a $500,000 portfolio. No need to grind out 40-hour work weeks just to pay the bills. No need to rely on your next paycheck. Just ongoing income from well-placed capital. It doesn't specifically mention this, but if you factor in Social Security benefits, the financial picture becomes 7 more Comfortable on average, Social Security provides about $1,900 per month per person, which adds up to roughly $22,800 annually for a couple each receiving this benefit. That's an additional $45,600 per year in guaranteed income. When combined with a solid investment strategy like Ollie's, it can offer a much more cushioned lifestyle than you might expect on just $500,000 alone. This brings us to a crucial point. Most people aren't really chasing wealth for the sake of luxury, even though they often believe that's their goal. They might think they want fancy cars, designer shoes, the big house, and all the trappings of success, but in reality they've got it all wrong. What they're really after is freedom, the freedom to choose how they spend their time, whether it's traveling, creating, relaxing, or simply being with family. In the end, what really brings you the most happiness and fulfillment? Is it the flashy material things, or the simple, often free moments that actually make life feel rich? Financial independence, no matter how you define it, isn't truly about the money itself. It's about the control and autonomy that money can give you, the ability to live life how you want to. Larry's advice cuts through the noise of modern financial culture. Rather than focusing on huge windfalls or unrealistic goals, he asked people to think practically. What do you really want your life to look like? How much does that life cost? With careful and smart investing, you can generate much more income than traditional retirement planning suggests, according to Aller. When you approach money from this angle, the numbers stop being arbitrary. You're no longer working towards someone else's version of success. You're defining your own and then figuring out how to make it financially sustainable. Of course, none of this works if you're reckless with your money, and O'Leary has strong opinions about where people go wrong. One of his most repeated pieces of advice is to never invest in your brother's restaurant or bowling alley or a bar, or as he puts it, all that other crap. According to him, that's how you lose money. He's not trying to be harsh for the sake of it. He's pointing to a very real trend. When people finally save or inherit a large amount of money, they often feel pressure to invest in something exciting with large potential, or worse, in a friend or relative's dream. But small local businesses, especially in food and entertainment, have extremely high failure rates. They're unpredictable, expensive to operate, and difficult to scale unless you have deep experience in that specific industry. Investing in money is more like gambling than planning. If you want to live off your money indefinitely, the priority has to be capital preservation, not chasing the next big thing. The point isn't to double your money overnight, the point is to make your money last forever. A word of caution to add to Kevin's advice: it's important to make sure your investment isn't just holding steady but actually growing enough to keep pace with inflation, otherwise your purchasing power gradually declines. If your account balance remains stuck at $500,000 year after year, even while generating 5 to 9% returns, the income will stay the same, but the cost of living won't. To maintain the same lifestyle over time, your principal should ideally grow by at least 3% annually, so the income it produces also increases and continues to match rising expenses. In a culture obsessed with quick success and flashy investments, it's easy to overlook the power of boring, consistent strategies, but boring works. A balanced mix of fixed income and equities held for the long term is one of the most reliable ways to grow and preserve wealth. It's not exciting, it doesn't come with viral headlines or overnight windfalls, but it does offer stability aside from usual market volatility, and that's what financial independence is built on. Many people assume that they need to keep climbing, keep pushing, keep chasing larger numbers, but once you've reached a point where your investments can support your lifestyle, you don't need to keep climbing. You can shift into maintenance mode. The question isn't how much it takes to be wealthy, it's how much it takes to have enough, and that's a question only you can answer. For some, enough means being able to live in a quiet home with no debt, plenty of time, and the ability to say no to work they didn't enjoy. For others, it might mean traveling, building something, or just not having to check their bank account before making a purchase. But no matter how you define it, the takeaway is the same. Once you know your number, you can start building a plan that gets you there. And in many cases, that number is surprisingly achievable when you cut out impulse purchases and get honest about what you're actually spending your money on. It's eye-opening how far your dollars can go. People who downsize, cook at home, or trade in a finance car for an older one often realize they're not just saving money, they're also gaining a sense of freedom. It's not just about lowering bills, but also about clearing the mental clutter that comes with owning things you don't really need. When you stop spending out of habit or social pressure, your expenses naturally shrink. You don't necessarily need $10 million to live well. In fact, with $500 000 invested wisely. Many people could have the kind of stability and freedom they've always wanted. It might not be the kind of wealth that gets you featured in Forbes, but it's the kind that lets you wake up without an alarm clock, and that's a win in itself, because at the end of the day, that's what real wealth should give you. Your time, your choices, and your life.